7:21 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. And it's time for Issues and Catan's Nevis. Yes, we are off to a little bit of an early start today, but we have lots to cover this afternoon. So first off, this week is the week of the St. Kitts Music Festival, and we are all very, very excited about this year's edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival. So from time to time, right here on Freedom FM, you'll hear more about the festival, right? You'll hear from the sponsors. You will get opportunities to win tickets. Just stick and stay with Freedom FM throughout the day, and you will have opportunities to win tickets to go to the St. Kitts Music Festival. So we're starting off with one of the major sponsors, one of the platinum sponsors actually of the St. Kitts Music Festival this afternoon, and we have Tropical Shipping here with us, represented by Abigail Keynes Leader and Akita Buchanan. Good afternoon, lady and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, tell us why you're here.
And good afternoon again from myself, Akita Buchanan, the sales representative at Tropical Shipping. Just want to say thank you to the St. Kitts Music Festival Committee for having us for the 27th annual event. It's a platinum sponsor for one of the Caribbean's most anticipated music festival. Just to share some information on our role here, being committed to island life, Tropical Shipping has been operating within the Caribbean region for 62 years and currently makes port calls to 27 island ports, operating 17 vessels. Dilil Walwing, as agents of Tropical Shipping, has been serving St. Kitts for 23 years at Bird Rock, Deep Harbour Port, and in Long Point, Nevis for 21 years, with Tropic Unity and Tropic Carib rotating weekly into St. Kitts, while Tropic Opal and newly added Tropic Express into Nevis. Our services include full container loads, break bulk, and vehicle services, refrigerated cargo less than container loads, which includes services such as barrel shipments, D and E containers, just to name a few. We also provide weekly exports of full container loads, service, and monthly LCL exports, that's less than container load exports, all of which can be accessed using our e-service platform. Tropical Shipping also partners with Kestrel Liners, a global shipping agency that transports cargo from all major continents and regions. This partnership makes shipping seamless, as Kestrel handles all of the logistics and custom documentation for getting your shipment from its port of loading to its final destination. In addition to sponsoring the St. Kitts Music Festival, Tropical Shipping gives back to our community, upholding our motto, committed to island life, by providing scholarships to the children graduating from primary schools from since 2017. We also sponsor the annual St. Christopher Children's Homes Walk and Run and newly added Zakers Affinity Causes. For more information about our services, I invite you to visit our local office or contact us via 466-4149 St. Kitts, and for Nevis, 469-0766 for more details.
Okay, fantastic. So we are so happy that you're here with us this afternoon to share about Tropical Shipping. I'm certain that a lot of people were interested in what you had to say, and a lot of people learned a lot about your business and how to contact you. Now for the more exciting part, because what you did share was exciting. People always want to bring stuff into the Federation, so it's important to know to use Tropical Shipping to do that. But you do have some giveaways as well, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So would you like to do the honors, or do you want me to ask the questions? How do we do this?
We can do it simultaneously. I ask one and you ask another.
Okay. So let's go. Let's start with you.
Okay. So I'm hoping that you were listening because, yes, as was mentioned earlier, we have some music festival tickets that we would like to give away. So if you were listening to Mr. Buchanan's presentation, it would be easy for you to get these answers. And first off, our first question is, name 2 tropical vessels that operate at our Long Point Nevis office.
Okay. 2 tropical vessels that operate at the Long Point Nevis office. And in order to win that music festival ticket, call 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. And we do have our first caller on the line. Good afternoon. Will you be our lucky winner this afternoon? Do you have an answer for us?
Tropic Opal and Tropic Palm.
Thanks for trying.
I'm sorry. Try again. Let's go back to the lines. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hey, good day. I'm trying to answer the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tropic Opal and Tropic Express.
Okay. And you are a lucky winner. What's your name, caller?
Tafari Eddie.
Tafari Eddie. How would they go about getting the tickets? They'll have to
Visit our office
visit your office.
at the Figget Bay Road, opposite the gas station.
Okay. And walk with an ID, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much for participating. So we have another question. That one was pretty easy. How long has the Neil Walwyn been the agent for Tropical Shipping St. Kitts? That one is another easy question. How long has the Neil Walwyn been an agent for Tropical Shipping St. Kitts? We do have a caller. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon. 23 years.
Excuse me?
23 years.
23 years. What's your name?
Vincent Bowie.
Okay, Vincent Bory. 5 cents go for your ticket, okay? Walk with your
Okay.
ID. Thank you
Okay,
so
no
much
problem.
for participating. And then we have another giver. I love this. The, the tickets are just going, right? So it shows people were paying attention. So, Mr. Buchanan, you want to take this one?
Our third question, which shipping agency does Tropical Shipping partners with for cargo sailing out of China?
Okay. Which shipping agency does Tropical Shipping partner with for cargo sailing out of China? And we have a caller. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
The
afternoon.
Ancestral Liners.
That is correct. And
That is
What's your name?
Giovanna Jeffrey.
Giovanna Jeffrey. So go to the Tropical Shipping office and collect your tickets, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for participating. Give 4 methods or platforms in which a customer may choose to pay his or her freight bill. How can you pay your freight bill? Call us at 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Let's take this call. Good afternoon.
Yeah, you can pay cash.
I'm not hearing you. You can pay.
Cash?
Uh-huh.
Uh,
You're breaking up badly.
okay, hold on. Cash,
Mm-hmm.
card, check, the job.
thanks for trying.
Try again. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're live. Okay, we missed that one. Let's try this one. Good afternoon. You are live.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Give 4 methods in which a customer may choose to pay his or her freight bill.
4 methods in which a customer can choose to pay his or her freight bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cash,
Mm-hmm.
Card, check, or wire transfer. In the bank, to the bank, like.
You may try again. Sorry,
Okay,
caller.
try again. Let's go. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hi, good day. A customer can choose to pay via cash, check, in-person, debit card, or even PayPal.
Okay. I'm seeing deliberations. I'm seeing a little,
Bank transfer as well.
Okay, caller, you are the lucky winner. What's your name?
Thank you. Off here. Off here.
Hold one moment, please. Oh.
Sure.
Can I get a wow? It's the sound you make when you get all alone. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. From a place you once knew to a dream home come true. Wow. Is a brand new view with the love that's so strong. Where you belong. Wow. For a home like new. Wow. It's the sound you'll make when you get all alone. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home.
Upgrade, improve, enhance your home with National Bank's Wow Mortgage for the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. Lowest interest rate guaranteed and the most favorable terms.
Wow Mortgage. Can I get a wow?
So we are back right here on Freedom FM, and we have questions for our gift. Those all the tickets are finished, so we now have gifts from Tropical Shipping. So how many years have Tropical Shipping been providing scholarships to primary school graduates? That is the question. Call in at 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
Hi, a pleasant good afternoon. Is it 15 years?
Is it 15 years? No, call in. Okay. Missed that one. Good afternoon. You are live.
Good afternoon, 25 years.
25 years. No. Let's try again. Good afternoon.
23.
23. No. Let's try again. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
10 years.
10 years. No. Let's try again. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. For the past 7 years.
7 years. No. Let's take this one. Good afternoon.
33.
33. No. Let's try this one. Good afternoon.
21 years.
21 years. Good afternoon. No. Let's try this one. Good afternoon.
40. 40 years.
40 years? No. No. Let's try again. Good afternoon.
Hi, good day.
Is it what?
8 years.
Yes, it is. You are the lucky winner. What's your name?
Takisha.
Takisha?
Mm-hmm.
What's your last name?
Taylor.
Sailor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sailor or Taylor?
Taylor.
Taylor. Thank you so much for participating. So we have one more question. What is the slogan for tropical shipping? What is the slogan for tropical shipping? Call in now and you may win a lucky gift from Tropical Shipping. The numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. That's 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. We missed that one. Let's try this one. Good afternoon.
Can I get a wow?
No. That's National Bank. Call back. Good afternoon. You are live.
Then say is committed to Island Life.
Yeah, you are the lucky winner of a gift from Tropical Shipping. What's your name?
Zandra.
Zandra?
Yes.
What's your last name?
Daniel.
Daniel. Thank you for participating. Go head on over to Tropical Shipping to collect your gift. So that's how we are going to end the appearance from Tropical Shipping right here on Freedom FM. Do you have any final words for us this afternoon?
We want to say thank you, of course, for having us, and
It's
thank
a
the
pleasure.
Music Festival, of course, for partnering with us, and thank all our customers, and, enjoy the Music Festival. Have fun.
Yes. And be safe. You want...
I would just like to say thank you once again to the Music Festival Committee, Freedom FM as well, for partnering with us so that we can not only give back to our customers, but also spread our services to the world at large. And we just want everyone to know that at Tropical Shipping, whether it's big or small, at Tropical Shipping, we ship it all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming and building the excitement for the St. Kitts Music Festival, which is scheduled for later this week. And we look forward to hearing so much more about the St. Kitts Music Festival right here on Freedom FM. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back with issues.
Can I get a wow? It's the sound you'll make when you get out loud. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. From a place you once knew to a dream home come true. Wow. Is a brand new view with a love that's so strong. Where you belong. Wow. For a home like new. Wow. It's the sound you'll make when you get out low. Wow. It's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home.
Upgrade, improve, enhance your home with National Bank's Wow Mortgage for the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. Lowest interest rate guaranteed and the most favorable terms.
Wow Mortgage. Can I get a wow?
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
The St. Kitts Credit Union is making mortgages easy. Becoming a homeowner, whether purchasing or building, has never been easier. The SKCU is here to help. Apply online via our website, www.skccu.com, or schedule an appointment today with one of our friendly loan officers to discuss your options. St. Kitts Credit Union, the best place to borrow, the best place to save.
Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
We are back right here on Freedom FM's Issues. It's always a pleasure to have Mr. Andre Huey here with us. Andre was a host of Issues until recently. You know, he had a lot of things to do. He became very busy and he kind of stepped aside, unfortunately, but we are happy to have him back. Welcome back, Andre.
Hi, Jamie. Always a pleasure to be back. Always a pleasure to be in your presence.
Okay. So tell us what you've been up to. Because remember you left because you were busy.
Yeah. Duty calls. A lot of work to do. Not enough time, not enough hands. As you know, and I was on your morning show some time ago to talk about TVC Channel 40,
yes,
which is one of our newest brands at our company.
And one of the things that have you.
Yes, that has me really busy. That's why I had to step aside from Issues, unfortunately. But yes, I'm okay because running a 24-hour channel is not easy by no means. But it has been fun despite the challenges. And we, for those who don't know, TVC, which is short for Television Caribbean, is a cable channel on the cable channel 40. Most people call it Channel 40, so they know it as that. And we have, we endeavor to produce a lot of local programs for our viewers because we know local viewers, St. Kitts Nevis audience, they like to see local content. So one of our shows that we produce, our local show, which you know very well, Jamie, because you've been on it as a guest.
Yes.
And I'm sure you got a lot of feedback from it as well. It's called Insights, and it's a program where we sit down with people and we talk about their lives, journeying from their childhood to, where they are in life, how they got to where they are. It's a very interesting story. It tells your life story, so to speak, in a few minutes. Of course, some people, their life story is very expansive. You can't tell it in 30 minutes, but we try as best as possible to do what we can. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to announce that tonight's episode features Freedom FM's very own Leslie Sugar Bowl Morton. And I'm telling you, Jamie, I edited the program, and it's a very, very interesting story. Sugar Bowl is a special person. He has a very interesting story. He talks about his life growing up in Buckley's, eventually getting into broadcasting, how he got into broadcasting, and even talked about his health challenges that he had.
Yes.
And the help that he got from the community. So it's a very interesting program. You don't want to miss. If you're a fan of Sugar Bowl, you don't want to miss tonight's episode.
And that is why I was so happy to have you here today, because I remember when you called me to ask me to, and I don't have anything to talk about, right? Because I feel like a lot of times we don't explore people for who they are as individuals. We look at, your career, your work, and that kind of thing, but how did they get there?
How did they get there? Yeah.
And I think that's important. And the fact that it's on a cable channel, it's on TV right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, so people can see it and can learn more about these people who they listen to every morning, like in the case of Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Because Sugar Bowl is on every morning. I remember listening to Sugar Bowl even before Freedom, before I even knew who he was at ZIZ.
Yeah.
Right? He had this popular show called, I don't remember what the show called, but he used to talk about the soaps.
Oh, right.
He used to talk about Young and the Restless and that kind of thing.
Yes, he spoke about that in the interview.
That's how I got into listening to Sugar Bowl, because I couldn't watch Young and the Restless every day, but I could listen to Sugar Bowl and get a recap.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that stood out for you? Because Bowl, he speaks about his life. He speaks about his childhood. On Thursdays, Library Day, he takes us back. But what are some of the things that stood out for you?
Some of the things that stood out for me in the interview was his early years. He talked about growing up in Buckley's, a lot of them sharing a room, sharing a bed. I remember one thing he said, which it was really touching. He said when he actually moved out on his own and purchased his bed for his apartment, where he was living, he cried. He said it was like an accomplishment for him, because growing up, he never had his own bed. He never knew what it felt like to lie down and not having somebody foot in his face or something like that. So for him, it was an emotional moment to own his own bed. And I found that was very touching. So it's a very interesting story. He spoke about even, helping his mother in the cane field. And he used to help to serve water to the guys working in the cane field. So it's a very, like I tell you, it's a very interesting story. You really don't want to miss what Sugar Bowl has to say about his life. And that's what I like about Insights. As you said, it's a show where you get into our slogan is we delve into people's lives and give us their insights on life. I learned things about you I didn't know.
And we've known each other for so long.
And we know each other for so long, and I didn't know certain things about you until I did that interview. So, and every guest that we've had on, I've always learned something new about them.
And even the general public, because I remember, I'm not going to say who came up to me, but I went to a wedding earlier this year, because I think you did a replay around December, January.
Yeah, sometime in January.
And I was like, okay, people stop reaching out to me about this. But she came up to me and she said, yeah, I saw you. And I was like, really? And she said, yes. And this is somebody she's new to St. Kitts, but we've met and we've interacted, and she was like, oh, I was blown away because I learned so much. I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Right? And people are watching. Yeah. And people, for me, I felt like, nobody really interested. Nobody really
you'll be
cares.
Surprised.
But people are interested, and I think people are kind of, they see you in a public career, so they kind of get invested in your life and they want to learn more, right? So that is what I really like about Insights. I watch Insights. I remember you had Roslyn Hazel, Ambassador Roslyn Hazel.
She's the only one that we had to do a 2-part series.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Because she spoke about her work. She spoke about advocacy. It was just so in depth, right?
Yeah, and it explores everything, because even in that same interview, that was one of the first ones we did. She spoke about when she was a little girl, And her first memory of advocacy started when she was a girl in Parsons, growing up in Parsons. She went to Deep Bay, and I think, I'm trying to remember who it was. There was a developer I think was building. I don't remember. I don't want to mention a name at the moment and get it wrong, but there was some development taking place on the beach, and apparently it was going to restrict people from using the beach in Deep Bay. And she stood up as a little girl in Deep Bay and caused a big ruckus down there, and so much that they had to call the police. And she said that when the police came, she said, "Oh, you again?"
Oh my God! Oh my
because
God.
she was always known to standing up for her rights, even as a little girl. So that grew with her becoming an adult and doing the advocacy that she did as an adult. So again, interesting stories. I believe everybody has an interesting story to tell. It's just for someone to tell that story for them or give them a platform where they can tell that story. And that's what Insights is all about.
Awesome. So how do we look at it?
So
how do we see Sugar Bowl?
You can see it live at 8 p.m. tonight on TVC Channel 40. That's Channel 40 on the cable. If you're not close to a TV or not able to see it on the cable, you can also watch it online. We stream all our shows. We actually stream the channel 24/7 online on our website, tvcplus.live. So you can go to that. Very soon we're going to be rolling out a mobile app for that as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. But also you can watch it on our YouTube channel. So Television Caribbean, you just type the @ TVC40 on YouTube, and you'll find the Television Caribbean YouTube channel. You see a green logo with TVC written on it. That's us. You can go there. We'll be streaming there as well at the same time. And if you miss it, the live airing, you can always go back to the YouTube channel to watch it as well. Also must say this, that tonight actually is the first show for our debut for our new host for the show. So I've been hosting the show since we started it back in December 2023. But, there are other shows that I do as well, so I kind of wanted to divest myself from some of the shows. So,
and it's very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is. I can't be
managing
doing all of that. Right.
a media entity and hosting all of these things.
Yeah, so that's challenging. So we managed to get a new host, and I'm happy to announce that Lavi Davis, Laverne, as most people know as Lavi, she will be hosting the show. And so tonight is her first episode, her first show that she's doing tonight. So going onwards, I might occasionally do it if she's not unavailable, but for the most part, she will be doing the show going forward. And so tonight is her first show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always happy when I see women taking up these spaces and, taking on these roles.
Yeah.
It's important to have.
And she did a good job. I thought she did a good job. In fact, because she does her research, so whoever her guest is, she does her research, she has her questions prepared. And she knows Sugar Bowl too, so it made the conversation a lot easier.
I think everybody knows Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think everybody is familiar with Sugar Bowl and his personality.
Yeah.
I often say when he's not here at mornings, I don't have a really good day because he brings that level of humor to the workplace, so we can laugh while we deal with the stress of just working.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad that we had the opportunity to speak to him. When I approached him, he was very open, and it was just a matter of us to set the time, and we managed to set the time, and we got it done. And I think it's a good thing because somebody like Sugar Bowl is a national treasure.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
It's good to have
definitely
something from him documented for future posterity, so that people can learn more about who he is.
We often speak about giving people their flowers while they are alive.
I agree.
And it's important to highlight people who within the community who are doing well. And in telling his story, he just may be an inspiration to a young man or young girl growing up under similar circumstances.
That's why it's always good to tell your story. I remember when we did the episode on Tony Frederick Armstrong, immediately after the show ended, like just less than a minute, someone messaged me, a prominent person too, messaged me and told me, thank you for doing that interview with Tony, because Tony was somebody they looked up to and admired, and they learned so much about her and about her backstory from that interview. So they were so happy that they were able to view that and get it.
I'm happy that he spoke about his challenges as well. Because many times people hear you on the radio or see you on TV and just feel like your life is a bed of roses and it's just easy, everything just came like that.
No,
but we all have had our challenges. And I remember one time he did an interview with Joni. hear on issues. And when I learned about his struggles growing up, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of Junie, I was supposed to do an interview with Junie. So Junie, if you're listening, you owe me an interview.
He's listening.
You owe me an interview. Right. So yes, because he's a story that needs to be told as well.
Over 50 years in broadcasting.
He's the most experienced broadcaster right now. That's currently active. So it would be good to have his story documented as well. And still at it. Yeah.
So Junie, make yourself available. Make yourself available, and because that's an important story to be told as well.
Yeah, and as I said, it will inspire a lot of people because, again, as you said, there are people who have assumptions because they hear you on the radio, they see you on TV, they think all is well. But really and truly, I think it's probably even more challenging for public figures because, while you're doing your job, you have to do your job with a straight face or with a smiley face in the case of Sugar Bowl. Even despite how you feel, despite whatever you're going through, you have to, put on that
Sugar Bowl,
motion.
just before he had his surgery, he came in one day and he was limping. And I said, you okay? I think Sharon Matan was here as well. He said, no, the pain. And when he went on the air, you would never have known that he was dealing with that level of pain. Never in a million years.
Yeah.
Right? So it speaks to the resilience. And we all go through stuff. I remember one year at Freedom, we just had to deal with a lot of deaths. A lot of people who were close to staff members died. Wow. And we had to show up. We had to work still. And you could feel it in the atmosphere that, people were not happy, but you couldn't tell on the air.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell on the air. So I'm happy, and I'll be tuned in.
Yes, certainly, definitely.
This evening, because it's important to support. Important to support.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it live. Even though I'm the one who did it, I'm still looking forward to seeing, the whole show play out. Last week we did a show last week on Mr. Eustace Warner from Warner's One Stop.
Yes.
We got some really good feedback on that.
I met him recently here.
Very interesting story. He talked about his life in Canada and all of that, and the racism he faced there and all of that. So it was quite interesting, very eye-opening. And even when we finished, there's still a lot more we didn't explore. So I told him we probably have to do a part 2 at some point. But it was very interesting. So I'm looking forward to tonight, and I would encourage the listeners to make some time to watch, again, TVC Channel 40 on the cable, or you can visit our YouTube channel or on tvcplus.live, and you can watch the show live at 8 o'clock.
And Andre, I want to commend you as well, because you are doing an awesome job in bringing these stories to the public. I know it's not easy. Before we came on the air, I was like, people don't even understand, right? I know it's not easy. And even to get a guest to commit sometimes, because people don't necessarily want to tell the story all the time, right? So I thank you so much for bringing our national treasures to the forefront.
My pleasure.
And being able to, share them in a different way with the community. So we look forward to hearing more about TVC.
Yes, definitely. As I told you, we have some new things coming up. Apart from shows, of course, we're going to be rolling out a mobile app for TVC, so it'll be more convenient to you to watch. We are also in the process of rolling out a Fire TV app. So for persons who have Fire Stick, they can also watch TV. Well, not yet. We're getting to that stage, but that's coming soon.
Awesome. So thank you for coming and sharing with us, and congratulations to you, Sugar Bowl. We'll be tuned in this evening. I'm certain that our Freedom audience, because we are family, so we stick very closely together, and I'm certain that our audience will be tuned in to Channel 40 this evening. If you don't have cable, look at it online.
Yeah, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on our website, so you can't miss it.
Awesome. We'll take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Can I get a wow? It's the sound you'll make when you get all alone. Wow, it's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. From a place you once knew to a dream home come true. Wow, is a strong, where you belong. Wow, for a home like new. Wow, it's the sound you'll make when you get all alone. Wow, it's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home.
Upgrade, improve, enhance your home with National Bank's Wow Mortgage for the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. Lowest interest rate guaranteed and the most favorable terms.
It's Wow Mortgage. Can I get a wow?
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
The St. Kitts Credit Union is making mortgages easy. Becoming a homeowner, whether purchasing or building, has never been easier. The SKCU is here to help. Apply online via our website, www.skccu.com, or schedule an appointment today with one of our friendly loan officers to discuss your options. St. Kitts Credit Union, the best place to borrow, the best place to save.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
And we are back with more issues, St. Kitts and Nevis. And at this point in time, we are going to bring you a rebroadcast of a podcast with Prime Minister Drew. Actually, this is episode 3 of On Air with Prime Minister Drew. So we're going to bring that to you now, and that is how we're going to end issues for this afternoon. So I want to thank all of you who chose to spend your afternoon with us. Don't turn off your radio because this interview with Prime Minister Drew is very important, and I'm certain that you'll get a lot from it. So stick and stay with us. This is On Air with Prime Minister Drew right here on Freedom FM.
I think the government and the parents can do it alone.
Right.
I think the children, our peers, have to also make up their mind and say we have to get this done.
Very good point. I like that. You can't just be at the table like window dressing. You want to talk into the mic and to tell us, young people should have that opportunity to lead and bring that perspective.
So my mother, she makes a lot of sacrifice, even to this day, to ensure that I'm really getting what I want. So even without me telling her, I applied for university.
Yes.
And it's when I got my acceptance, I went to her and I said, well, I get in UE, so what are we going to do?
Greetings and welcome to another episode of On Air with me, PM Drew. And this is our third episode. And so far, our previous 2 episodes were well received, and I want to thank you for your audience and thank you for tuning in. Today, we are going to speak to our young people, the rising generation, the rising stars, those who are now leading and would be leading going even further into the future. As Prime Minister, I'm a father, I'm a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I too was at your stage at one point. And I've come to recognize that the adage that says young people are the future is correct to some extent. I think when young people are already in a position to lead and to make the voices heard, and they do not have to wait for the future. In other words, the future is now. I think that the power of young people needs to be harnessed, because that power can actually help to advance and to accelerate our trajectory as a country, as a region, and as a world. And so we must include them in everything that is done in terms of advancing ourselves as humanity. And so I want to really big up all the young people out there who are watching this evening as we speak to you, and I will speak with you through 2 young people here, so that I can learn more, and so that we can learn more, and to let their voices be heard, and for them to share their stories with you. So today I have with me Mr. Malik Quilly, a student at Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, and he's on track to Southern University. I visited Southern University. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I'm really happy for Malik. I'm happy for you that you'll be heading there very soon. And I'm also joined by Zubaida Springer, a first-year law student at Norman Manley Law School, Jamaica, and she's now interning at the AG's office. And of course, this is a very young person who is advancing very quickly. And this shows that our young people, the vast majority, are on the right track. So let's get into it, and and to give each of our guests an opportunity to speak about, in the case of Malik himself, and in the case of Zubaida herself. So Malik, tell me about your story. What's your name and where you're from, and give people an idea about who you are in terms of your journey in school, work, life, and what are your aspirations as you head from CFBC to Southern University in the United States of America.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Malik Quilly. I am 19 years old. I was born and raised in St. Kitts and Nevis. And my journey thus far in school or whether in life, in school, I just think 2 weeks ago just finished with CFBC College, where I major business. And then now I will be off at Southern University in August, majoring in economics and a minor in political science. However, my journey in life thus far, growing up with a single mom throughout my whole life, was a bit hard and challenging. I had no choice than to stay on the right track, or to make my family proud, or to make my family become something that I want to see them become. However, I had no intention in reaching this far. So during my high school period, where I started out in a lower class in high school, and in third form, this is where I started to realize things started to get a bit tough. Like, you got to pull up your socks, you got to get serious. And during my third form year, I sat 3 sexy subjects. And that time I was a bit playful, you know, I was a class clown, and my mom said, no, you ain't wasting my money. No, you're gonna wait till fifth form to do the subjects. Fine. And then doing those same subjects, she let me do them. I asked her if I could prove her wrong, and she let me do those subjects. And I passed those 3 sexy subjects in third form.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And after that, when I realized I have that potential in third form, I continued on that journey. And during my fifth form time, a teacher nominated me for Remarkable Teen. And after being a Remarkable Teen, I said I can't go back down. I have to keep climbing, I have to keep pushing, keep going out there. Have some persons who encourage me, who push me along the way, who help me pay my extra 6 classes when I wanted to do them, you know. So it was a great journey thus far, and I'm thankful. And I have to give thanks to my mom, my family. So yes,
I've been there. And in terms of, well, your school life seems to have been very interesting. But I'll come back to you to ask you a couple more things and to converse with you on it. But I would like to hear from Zubaida. Give us an idea about her school life.
Hi, good evening. My name is Zubaida Springer, and I'm from Sadler's Village. I am 24 years of age. I am an attorney in training currently. Just finished my first year at Norman Manley, and hoping that, you know, I'm on the pass list to go forward for year 2. So growing up, I was always what you call a scholar, but not really like the average nerd. So it's like, you know, I played sports, I was into drama. You know, I did a bit of everything, effective speaking, I did pageantry, I did debates. Anything the school wanted me to do, I did. But it was just basically, how to put it? Like just my way of getting out there, because if you know where Sadler's is, it's basically what they would call back of the land. So it's not much that people expect from people from Sadler's. So I'm just proud to be one of the products that people can look at and say, well, okay, Sadler's got people. So from a tender age, I've just always been very much academically inclined. So I'm always striving, going hard. Then I finished CFBC in 2019, and then I was kind of torn because, well, you know, obviously you want to go straight to school, but, you know, financial problems. So, you know, you had to stay a while, and then we had COVID. So when I started in 2021, ready to go to Barbados because, you know, finally going out on my own, and then I had to stay here for a year and work. But then when I actually got the opportunity to leave, like, it was truly a fulfilling one. Like, shout out to all my blackbirds, Kville for sure. Yes. So I wouldn't regret that. I don't regret that experience. And the 2 years that I spent in Barbados outside, you really got to basically immerse myself into the culture and learn more about like my regional counterparts. So that's where I met most of my friends who are from like Grenada, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago. That's what basically a different group, no? Yeah. Yes, that was a different group. So it's like being out there, you kind of got to see more and learn more, and then you start to, you know, we have the regional wars, so we have to compare and contrast each other's islands. So now we got to cuss the Jamaicans, kind of, it's monopoly money over there. Yeah, we just got to keep going. That's how hard we used to go, but you know, I'm always standing there and repping.
Good jest.
Yes, for sure. You know, it's nothing serious, but you know, you got to defend your country. So, you know, anything to make sure that nobody talking and saying kids, I can pull it out. I really never cared.
That's
so then did my 2 years, finished last year with upper seconds. But, you know, I really was aiming for first class. But, you know, when you're trying to, you know, party and go to school and, Sometimes it is, So I don't really feel too bad about that because I got the best of both worlds. Yes. So then going forward now for law school, well, that's where things kind of changed because like everybody was always like, law school is going to be hard, law school is going to be hard. I'm telling you, no, it's a different ballgame. So you were already scared going into it, and then you got over there, and it's like from the first day, the teachers hit the ground hard. Like you was cases to read, tutorials to complete, and you just had to. You couldn't shy away and say, "Oh man, under this." No, the teacher's calling on you. Like you got to be on your A game each week, and it was just a lot. Because then now you're transitioning from Barbados to Jamaica now. So it's like this is another new environment, meeting new people, and then Jamaica has 10 times more people than Barbados. So when we had a little 100 people on halls, it's now 800 people on one hall specifically. It was just a lot, but I persevered, did those super hard exams, 6 in 2 weeks, but you made it to the end.
Congratulations. A tremendous, tremendous story. And that is really the power of our young people. And this is the type of power that we need in our generation to help to push us to what we want to achieve as a country. And so one of the things I wanted to discuss as well, as a young person and as you hear a lot of things that are happening, as a young person in St. Kitts and Nevis, what it's like. How would you describe what it's like to be a young person in St. Kitts and Nevis? Talk to me about the pressures or the opportunities or the hope that you have. Because one of the things I heard you say, and listen to you carefully, you came from a single mother. It was challenging. But today, you're heading to the United States to study. So it means, therefore, that even though that was challenging, there is a lot of hope. But tell me what it is being like a young person in St. Kitts and Nevis.
For me, it's both exciting and challenging at the same time. So they have much opportunities in education, technology.
Good.
But for me personally, I don't think we have much opportunities in hands-on experience for young people. So I think, honestly, we should improve on that, especially on hands-on. We could work something.
Give me an example.
Okay, for me, I had a conversation with a young man the other day. He actually sells jelly water.
Yes.
Normally I drink jelly water a lot.
Yes.
And I would go and I would visit him. And he said, I would see you around. How are you doing? So we had a conversation there.
God.
And he said, I had this deal. I think he told me he talked to you or something like that, and he had this great idea. And he said he wanted to start a program, a concrete, like helping kids, teaching kids how to build blocks.
So he's building blocks?
Yeah, he's building blocks currently.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but he was saying that he would like to start a program because not much children here in St. Kitts and Nevis do hands-on. It's about technology, it's about education, but what about those who are not into those things and who want to do hands-on,
Right. So that's like the vocational studies that we call the vocational or the technical areas.
Right.
That you want to see more of that.
Yes.
Good. So you want to see more children or more people get an opportunity to go down.
For those who are not really
academically inclined, as we say. Because there are a lot of people who are academically inclined, but they might choose to go down the vocational, but just to have the opportunity. AVEC is expanding into TVET and the CVQs, where they can actually go now and become certified in these technical areas, not just do them. So you just don't want them to show up to do blocks for doing blocks' sake. You want them to learn it, but also be certified so that they can show that they are competent in this particular area. So they can go from here to there, wherever they go in the region, that they can get jobs. So that is a very, very, very good point. The other thing I will tell you to say to him as well, while we are doing that, we are now connecting with Southern University Vocational School is going to help us with the technical areas. And the dean, I think, is already in connection with the head at TVET. And additionally, we are now connecting with the University of Kenya through UNESCO for their program, their technical program, to make it available to our people here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So you are correct. We need more opportunities for the technical areas. But I give you those examples because we're actually pursuing them. So I'm happy that you did. So when you see these young people, you can say to them, you can soon become certified in all these technical areas. And you don't have to be a bookworm to make it in life. You can be in your technical area, study that, and still do well. Very, very good point.
Thank you.
Zubaida, I don't know if you want to hear, what is like being a young person in St. Kitts and Nevis from all the perspective? Because you gave a tremendous story that you came from Saddlers, you're very young, 24 years old. So how does somebody from Saddlers, young, who is not rich, can now be at law school in Jamaica with a bright future? But Pat, how is it being a young person in St. Kitts and Nevis?
Okay, well, like Malik, I too grew up in a single parent household. So my mother, she makes a lot of sacrifice, even to this day, to ensure that I'm really getting what I want. So even without me telling her, I applied for university. And it's when I got my acceptance, I went to her and I said, well, I get in UE, so what are we going to do? And then she was like, well, what you going to do? Because, like, obviously, you know, the tuition there, $10,000. Yes. And then I had to talk tuition and so forth. So she was like, well, you know, you got to take a loan. So that was the first thing we did. And so basically it was a very hefty loan. I'm not going to lie to you. But it was a necessary sacrifice because I knew that's what I wanted. It was either teaching or it was law. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you could teach after, but, you know, you're young, so go and finish your 5 years and come back. Yes. And so at a young age, I was, like, always involved and basically passionate about youth development. So I always want, like, to do things that, you know, where young people can really showcase their talents or something that you can do to harness their talents, basically. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't much programs for us over in the rural areas. And so when I got to a specific age, like, I wanted to basically help out the children in the community that I live in, the surrounding communities, and that's where I basically started my academy. Mm-hmm. So basically we kind of...
So you started an academy?
Yes,
What is it called?
Top Tier Academy.
Oh, tremendous. That is impressive.
Yes.
Oh.
So we started off basically tutoring and basically training in netball and football, but we kind of pivoted from that, and I'm now more focused on, like, community building. So it's like I started my summer camp 2 years ago, and so this year would be my third staging. I did effective speaking competitions with the high school. I donated school supplies to the high school, to the primary school, and some neighboring primary schools. And so I'm just trying to find more ways in which I could actually bring some of these programs that I see in the other communities and basically in the urban area to the rural areas. So that's basically my goal. So as a young person, also, I realize that more of us are becoming degreed. So, you know, we're going and, you know, becoming another degree hotter now. So it's basically we're not sitting back and just being comfortable, just, you know, getting the job with our associates. Everybody is going for the bachelor's, the master's. So it's like, but after that, the young people are basically, they want their own homes. Mm-hmm. They want to get land. And so they're having problems acquiring these things because, you know, there's these stipulations that they have to go through, and maybe they don't have things to put up or something. And sometimes they're being told that, well, it's just not available. But their complaints are that, you know, it's not only people with families and, like, the older women and men who want houses. Young people as well want houses. And so I think with, you know, the housing schemes going forward, I'm not saying you should put aside a specific one for the young people, but I'm just saying for the young people, they would like some houses.
Right. And I agree with that. And that is why, you know, it's important that we wanted to embark, or we're going to embark on the expansion. Because it's important, when you acquire a house at a young age, you start to build wealth already. Right. And the fact that young people want to invest so early is an excellent sign. They don't want to be living inside with their parents. They want to expand their wings, as we say in St. Kitts and Nevis, and to give them the opportunity to start to build wealth. So that is a very, very good point, that young people can get opportunity. We had multiple land program, one for young professionals, especially when you come back and it's difficult. I want to touch a little bit on what you spoke about with respect to you're getting the opportunity to study and you're getting the opportunity to study. Because you say you had to take a loan.
Yes.
And I suspect you took a loan, but I'll also tell you something. You are now in law school.
Yes, I had to take a second one.
Right. But your economic cost is being paid.
Yes, the economic cost was paid at Cable. I'm not sure if there's economic cost paid to Norman Manley because they never indicated that.
Right, so I'm telling you that. So there was it was not being paid before, but I instituted that economic costs be paid for both law and medicine. Let me tell you why I did it. Because if I didn't do it, the question becomes, who will get the opportunity to go to law school and medical school? It will be those who are more financially well off. The daughter of a single mother would have too much trouble. Because then you have to go take a second loan, which is fine. But then sometimes the loan has to be so large that sometimes it's challenging to carry. So we instituted, once again, I instituted it, economic costs for both law and medicine, so that those who don't have as much financial resource can have access to these carriers. And these carriers will not just be left for those who have money. Correct. Or if you go, it will be an excessive burden. I mean, going to university, there's a responsibility and it is challenging, but as much as we can lessen the burden, that is what we hope to do. So you're going to benefit from it. So if you haven't benefited from it, say, look, the Prime Minister says it's paying the economic cost for me as a law student, and they're going to take down your cost significantly for law school. So I want you to know that. And in the case of Malik, you're heading to Southern University, and you know that the government really had a program with Southern University. Correct. And so therefore, it is in-state tuition with opportunities for scholarships. That is why you're able to go. And then in addition to that, if you have to take a loan, we have made it possible at Development Bank for somebody like you to get a loan just in case you have to get it.
To add to that, when you mentioned that your mom didn't know, same. Yeah. I actually was doing the application. I asked for help. I went to one of my older persons who I look up to, so I went to help and I asked, I said, I really would like to go to Southern. I'm looking into that. Can I have some assistance?
Right.
And, so she helped me, and then when I got accepted, I said, Mom, I got accepted to Southern, She was like, it's a scholarship, or are you paying for this? I said, I'm not taking any loan. I get the money. Even if I have to raise, I have to do the sponsorship, but I'm not taking any loan, But once you have the mindset to push forward, you can definitely.
And you have the opportunity to go, as I say, but you could have worked towards not taking a loan. But also, even if you were to take a loan, what we did at Development Bank, what is the interest rate now?
I think 5%.
5%.
Yeah.
So we took it down from 9% to 5%. So the interest rate at Development Bank is the lowest that we have had it for students. And we did another thing for students. During a time of study, I'm sure your mother doesn't have to pay the interest.
Oh, for the second one, she doesn't. For the first one, yeah.
Right.
But for the second one, they freeze it.
They freeze it because that's the new policy.
Right.
So therefore, your mother is not burdened with paying interest on your loan while you are studying. Because a lot of mothers, especially people who did not have a lot of money, you're working, but every month you have to go down to the bank and pay a part of your salary or wage, whatever it was, towards the interest on the loan while your child or loved one is studying. So we eliminated that. And we didn't add the interest on, so we froze it. So it's frozen. So when you start to pay, that's when it starts. Before that, it does. So it's not a loan with the accumulation of the interest while you are studying. It is just frozen. And we we did those two things. So one, you can see your mother and your family benefit. They would benefit immediately. You would benefit immediately. Because your mom doesn't now have to go and pay interest on that loan, which is savings for her. And it is not going to be added on later when you start to pay. So it's almost like a loan forgiveness, interest forgiveness program. And we did that because we want more students to have access to university. So I'm happy that both of you are definitely benefiting from two significant academic or educational opportunities. You in the case of Southern University because of the collaboration and what we just introduced, and you because of the loan structure that we now have and the fact that you can now get economic costs as a law student. And you know that economic cost takes off a lot of the money. So we wanted to introduce them for young people. But I wanted to ask you all another important question. And I pick up, as you said, opportunities in the vocational areas that we should have. And in Zubeda's case, you know, she talked about young people having access to land and housing and so forth, which are critically important. And so it's important for me to get that feedback from you, because that's going to help to inform policy. So I want to know, well, we are working on the vocational one, and then to look at making sure that young people, as they come out of university, they can get land and house. As a matter of fact, we have a program with National Bank when you come back, that you can take your loan from Development Bank, take it to National Bank, and then there you can get a mortgage at a low interest rate and be able to buy your house or your land at a very young age. You probably don't know about it as yet because you're still in law school, but we actually have that program. So when you come back, you go there, you go to National Bank. Well, the Prime Minister told me that there's a program here for young graduates. I want to know how I can be a part of it. And then, because if you own your own home, let's say you don't even get it from the government, but you, of course, a lawyer, you can take a loan for a home, and you do that when you're 25, 26, 27.
Right.
By the time you add 20 years to that, you're still in your 40s, fairly young still. You already own a home. You know how much wealth is in that? You're talking, by the time, if you add it, well over $1 million. And then you can go on your second home, or you can take the equity in that and invest.
Right.
So these are opportunities that is there. So it's there. So you can ask about it, so you can say you benefit from it as soon as you leave school.
Problem.
But any other programs that you have heard about, you discuss, that young people are benefiting from, that you, Malik, that you think that young people can benefit from?
So we have the Aspire program.
Yes.
I'm an ambassador of the Aspire program, and that's an awesome program. With the Aspire program, this program is for children between the age of 5 to 18.
Yes.
This is where they receive $1,000, not to spend crazily, but to invest in shares.
Yes.
So we have $500 in shares.
Yes.
And $500 in cash.
Yes.
But the child, if you're below 18, the child are not allowed to touch that money until they become that age, 18.
Correct.
So that parent, so you're saying, let's say we have a parent that have a child 5 years old and open that account. It's for that parent now to add onto that $1,000. So I think that's one of the best programs I've ever come across, because, I mean, by the time that child is 18, that could be some money to go off to university, to invest in whatever they have to invest in. So I really think the Aspire program is actually a great program the government has launched.
You know, the United States launched a similar program.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they call it the Trump account. No, it's true, the Trump accounts. But here we call it the Aspire program. It is the same $1,000, but ours cover all the children from 5 to 18, and is a savings account with investment, as you say, in shares. And in addition to that, we're going to have a curriculum for financial education. The curriculum is being tested and is going to be launched in September for all children across St. Kitts and Nevis between 5 and 18. And it's going to be age appropriate. So we want our children to have a savings, shares, which mean you own parts of companies. And in addition to that, you get the necessary financial education. Because this is the type of things people who come from households that, you know, have a lot of financial resource, got a lot of money, then they open big accounts for the children, which they should do. They give them earnings in companies. They don't own in parts of companies, and they're still in school. And then their parents, of course, filter that information about financial education. Maybe it's not formal, but informally they learn it from their parents. And children like you, or young people like you rather, who come from single-parent households where things are challenging, you may not have had an account. If you have an account, how much are you really saving? You don't own any shares in any company, because your parents don't own any shares. And I'm sure none of your parents taught you about financial management and so forth. I did not get it. So, you know, so I'm in the same boat. But I've come to recognize that it's important. Because it's important to be able to build wealth even when you are young. So that is why we started the Aspire program. We want to get all the children between 5 and 18 into it so that the next generation can have much better opportunities than we had in this generation, and your generation even better than we had. So Zubaida, you want to reflect on any programs or any ideas of any programs you think that can be introduced, especially because you have your youth program that I think can be, be in a policy form and expand it?
Well, there are a few programs that I've seen some of my friends benefit from. Two of them being the partnership between us and Taiwan. Because I have some family members that also benefited and now they're prospering in their career paths.
Okay.
And the partnership between us and Cuba. So I have some friends who are there studying. Right now they're studying to be dentists and so forth. So looking forward to the next batch of dentists in maybe 2 years' time.
Yes. You'll have some friends coming from Cuba
Just
who will be practicing here. Yeah, that's excellent. And again, is when you see your friends, because you say something, you say everybody is getting a degree now.
Right.
So if you have reached the point where it's so easy to get a degree in St. Kitts and Nevis, a young person, that is a tremendous achievement to bring us from, as I like to link it, from slavery, colonization, independence, and now they said advancement. And then to give them opportunities to grow wealth. And then you made a good point. Open up the technical areas, the vocational areas, so that they can become certified technicians in whatever field, so that those who have not chosen the academic path can have another path to expand themselves. So I think about sports. You don't think sports and the creative economy for young people?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what do you think about those?
With regards to sports, well, I think we could have a bit more structure, basically, especially in how our national team is set up. I feel there could be a bit more put into it, I'm not certain because I'm not really in that field yet, but you could see the things that the little tweaks that could be made to really ensure that our players are really.
I'm going to share this with the Minister of Sports.
Ensure that our players are really performing at the highest level that they can. So I think some of the conditions can be, improved. Some of the, the facilities that we have, if they can be enhanced, really. I think that we have been making strides in terms of how they put effort into the teams, but I think more could be done. With the creative economy, I really admire how, I think it's Robertine, I really admire how she has been handling herself.
And she's the youngest director ever.
Yes. Since her installation, it's been really something to watch because I've seen how it has evolved. And that is truly something to really commend because that shows that young people, all they need is just a seat at the top.
Yes.
We just need a seat and then you would truly see because we have the ideas, we know what we want to see, and basically watching it, you probably watched an elder and so you were like, okay, I saw how she did this, but with my tweak, it could be done. And so we are seeing it now in the creative economy because now Robertine is coming with her new ideas, basically adding to what was there before, not changing too much, but basically taking us forward because really and truly, we should be progressing more and not simply stagnant or stuck in our ways. So it's like the more young people that get these opportunities, I feel that we might be looking forward to a lot more beautiful things. So, some more young people in certain areas would really take us there.
And that is a very good point. Robertine, she traveled to Nigeria with myself and the minister, Minister Samuel Duggins. And, she's a very impressive young lady, I can tell you that. And recently she had the Nigerians who came back, an earpiece, I think that was one of the largest jets that ever landed in St. Kitts and Nevis. And she was able to really host them, people at very high levels. And she's young, and she's really rocking, right? As the young people would say. So you have a very good point there. In terms of the sports, I'm happy with what you say. In terms of the facilities and so forth, just to let you know, for example, the King Collins Stadium, we just invest a few $1 million there to redo the track and to redo the whole stadium. We're going to launch it very, very soon, within a week or two. And the point is, I want to say to our young people, is that when you get these facilities, take care of them, or to all people in general, take care of them. We just built the stadium at Connery, the football stadium, very nice, and we are saying to them over there, take care of what we do. So the point taken, we continue to work on these
point of
facilities.
interjection.
Sure.
Back to the sports.
Yes.
When I was growing up, we had netball, we had football, and we were prospering, right? Recent times, I went to watch the netball games. My heart broke. No, because when I was in grade 6,
yes,
I was a star netball player. I was playing netball from since grade 3, so you could have watched the games and you see the real stars. You knew. Right now, the children, they're not. I'm not certain what's going on with the netball and football programs, because I know they were basically trying to teach them all the sports, but it seems as though these sports that we actually push.
Yes.
They're doing the netball is now a last sport here.
Yeah, and we're trying
and
so hard.
So the young girls, they're really suffering, and that's why. That's something that I want to look into when I do come back and settle down. But it'll probably have to be like on the weekends. But I think we should kind of, what's the word I want to use? Restructure our sporting programs now. Kind of go back to the drawing board with the trying to impose like cricket and volleyball and all these things. Because really and truly, when it comes to competitions, it's not all schools will be able to participate in like the volleyballs and all these other things. So even though you want to teach these disciplines, the netball, the football, these are the more critical areas basically. So when we kind of take away those programs now, the children are now suffering, because children are going to high school not knowing how to play netball, basically learning to play football for the first, like if they don't go to like the youth teams on the weekends or so forth, they don't get any football training. So it shouldn't be that, because then what's the point of the physical education hour in schools?
And that's a very good point. And just to let you know, we have reintroduced for example, the football in primary school.
Right.
Because it was absent.
Right.
And the reason why we did it is for exactly for the reason that you have given. Can you imagine you're kicking a football for the first time in high school?
Correct.
So we have reintroduced that into the primary school. So, and we are reintroducing again the netball as well. And Dame Marcella Liebert has been very instrumental to the point where she went around and donated netballs to the primary school. So we have reintroduced them because there was a significant decline, again, because they were not in the primary school. So that's a very good point that you have made, and we'll seek to continue to strengthen that as well. What are your thoughts, for example, Malik, on Jazara Claxton, that young cricket star, and she's from Sandy Point. Yeah.
I am actually, she was at that same year, she was actually the same, a remarkable teen as me at that same year. And I strongly, and I know that she was going to make it out for sure.
Yes.
I honestly am proud of her. Sometimes we will speak on